What is up, guys? I'm in Goodmayes and I'm going to give you a real driving test route walkthrough on a real driving test route at Goodmayes. How do you know it's a real driving test route, Francis? I might have just followed a driving test around to bring you guys this route. Probably not. Probably not. But what I probably didn't learn from following that learner around on their driving test is a few hints and tips that I can bring you to help you pass your test if you're doing it here at Goodmayes. Now, if you're here at Goodmayes for your driving test, you're going to park up in the car park, preferably with your boot facing the wall, so that when you get in with the driving examiner, you can drive off from the driving test centre as easily as possible without having to reverse out. Then you're going to walk up these stairs, avoiding the cleaners, and enter the waiting room. Sit down in the waiting room, and when your examiner's ready, they'll come out and call you. Okay, if we're ready, let's go. The other thing I might have learned from driving around Goodmayes is that it's not a very nice place to take a driving test. Look at this road. This is the first road that you're going to drive down on your driving test. It's really busy and it's really narrow. When I probably wasn't following that driving test around their driving test, there were 4 cars.
At the end of the road, turn left, then turn right.
4 cars that set off and went the same way. So not only are you in a learner train, there's cars coming this way.
Then turn right.
And you're in constant meeting situations. Really difficult. Next we are turning right, mirror, signal.
Turn right.
Now this test that I probably didn't follow around took about 40 minutes to complete this. I'm not going to say pretty easy, but it wasn't very, very difficult driving test route. Mirrors and signal. Let's see if I can complete it any quicker. Mirror and move round. Let's get on with it. Let's not hang around. The point of a driving test isn't to prove that you're a good learner. The point of a driving test is to prove that you're a competent driver. We're not in learner mode anymore. We're just trying to keep up with the rest of the traffic. And obviously not breaking any speed rules, not breaking any road rules, but we're not auditioning to be a good learner. It's an audition to get a proper driving license like everybody else. Don't take ages, especially as it was probably the last test of the day. The examiner must have been like, are you taking the pee? Hurry up, I want to go home. Just like always on these driving test route walkthroughs, I'm going to do my best to drive perfectly, but I'm more focused on you guys. So if I make any mistakes, write them down in the comments and we'll have some fun with this. Mirrors to move round and let's go. This looks like a bit of a situation coming up. I'm going to be cautious and leave space. I don't want to get stuck. If I carry on down that road, I'm risking having to reverse back, which I don't want to do if there's not enough space for me and those 2 other cars in front to fit. Sainsbury's pulled over, but there's more cars behind. I'm not in a rush, but also I don't want to take the piss and drive round the whole route really, really slowly. Mirror and let's get on with it. Power!
At the end of the road, turn right, then turn left.
Okay, mirror and signal.
Turn right, then turn left.
What I also want to show is that I'm a confident driver. I'm looking in advance. That car's indicating, so I'm going to go. All the way to the end of the road. You're not checking your mirrors, are you, mate? All right. Bad driving caught on camera. Okay, so mandatory left turn. Do I need to signal for this? Yes, because I know that I must turn left, but who doesn't? It's not only other vehicles that you're signalling for, we also need to signal to any other road user that could benefit from it. This lady could benefit from my signal. Any cyclists, pedestrians could benefit from my signal. Okay, let's go, 30 miles an hour on this road. The other thing about Goodmayes is there's so much traffic, like so much traffic. And you might be thinking, oh, that's great. I'm going to get stuck in traffic and spend my whole driving test in traffic. Nope. You're driving around a set route. If it takes you ages to complete that set route because you're in traffic, it just means that your driving test takes longer, which is exactly what we don't want. We want the driving test to be over quicker. The road is splitting into two. I know because I can remember both of these lanes go straight. The left one goes left and straight. Why am I going to pick the left one then? Because we drive on the left. If you've got a choice of lanes, you're going to pick the left one. The right lane is for overtaking and turning right. It's not a massive issue if you get caught up in the right lane. Not a massive issue at all. But the problem is if you are in the right lane and cars on the left undertake you, I might wait here, and cars on the left undertake you, you're gonna fail your driving test. Yeah, no joke. You're gonna fail for something someone else has done. That was my green light, but she was crossing, so I let her go first. Even though I had priority, you can't run people over because you've got priority. It doesn't work like that. God, this is so stressful. If I was on a driving test right now and I wasn't as proficient a driver as I am, I'd be getting nervous right now. I'd be thinking, oh my God, I'm like slightly hanging out into a junction. There's cars around me. This is so busy. This is horrible. I don't like it at all. This would be mega stress. Goodmayes is not very great to take a driving test in. So there's other test centres like Hither Green, Bromley, I'm thinking West Wickham. It's all green and it's leafy and there's a calming atmosphere around. It's just calming vibes. Goodmayes isn't calming vibes at all. I mean, like, it's grey, it's so busy, there's so many cars around. It just feels like a lot of pressure. If you've got your driving test in Goodmayes, great. Obviously people pass here. I don't know what the pass rate in Goodmayes is. If someone can comment it below, that would be amazing. You guys can be my research team. I bet it's not very high though. Maybe 40%, and I'm just guessing, so I don't know. If you're taking a driving test here at Goodmayes, you need to be a much better driver than if you were taking your driving test somewhere else, because the stress, the pressure, you've got to really trust your instincts and trust your decision-making skills. Checking mirrors to move around. Okay, this bit's not too difficult. I'm just playing follow the leader.
After 200 yards, turn left, then at the end of the road, turn left.
But I can bet you any money it's gonna get more difficult.
Turn left, then at the end of the road, turn left.
Okay, cautiously around this bend, it looks pretty narrow. And mirrors to move around any parked cars. If you're taking your driving test at Goodmayes, I would recommend a lot of mock tests.
At the end of the road, turn left.
No problem. You need to be able to trust your decisions. And if you only drive around with an instructor's help, you're going to be relying on them a lot more than if you'd taken mock tests and had to trust your own decisions and make mistakes.
Turn left.
Mirror to move round, turn left, no problem. Mirror, signal. I'm approaching the junction as though I'm gonna go and only stopping if there's something to stop for. Is it correct to stop at all give-way lines? Absolutely not. Why not? Because the car behind you can see what you can see. If they see it's clear, the last thing that they're going to expect you to do is stop. So we need to be preparing to go at every junction and only stopping if we have to. Okay, so this road isn't very difficult. It looks pretty easy, and it's a 30 mile an hour road.
Yards, turn right.
So I can get my speed up a lot here. Well, I can't because it's Goodmayes and there's traffic everywhere. But let's think about the difference between this road and the last one. This one we can see a lot further down the road because there's no parked cars. There's also a minimal amount of pedestrians, but the pedestrians that there are, I can see them from a lot further away because of the lack of parked cars. It's also a much wider road too. So if there wasn't traffic here, which there probably always will be and is right now, I could get my speed up a lot more. Okay, traffic. This is the thing about traffic. Okay, you get time to sit and chill for a second, but now you're in your own head. You're thinking, driving test. Getting yourself more worked up. The examiner's going to now be asking you awkward questions like, if you weren't on your driving test, what would you be doing with yourself right now? Or have you come far for your driving test today? They have icebreaker questions on your driving test.
After 100 yards, turn right.
They'll ask you these
Turn
icebreaker...
right.
Thanks. They'll ask you these icebreaker questions so that it's not so awkward sitting in silence with a complete stranger. And it's definitely a good thing. Like when the examiner starts talking to you, you relax straight away. The examiners aren't the police and they're not scary like individuals. They're just normal people who happen to be doing the opposite side of the job to me. So when they talk to you, it just brings that sense of release. Oh, this person's actually quite nice. They're quite friendly. They're just talking to me. They're a normal individual. What you can do to help your driving test nerves as well is have an icebreaker question ready for your examiner. It's a really good technique. Here's why. As soon as you talk to someone, even if it was a police person, they're now no longer in a position of authority. Okay, they're still in a position of authority. They're still holding your driving license in their hands, but they're just another human being. So ask your driving examiner, what's the nicest car you've ever had a driving test in? Now they're thinking, they're like, oh, what is the nicest car? Because they must be into cars, at least a little bit, to be a driving examiner. So you're going to get them talking on a subject that they're interested in. You can make one up for yourself too.
Yards, turn right.
Turn right, okay, cool. Anything to just break the ice and create a conversation stops it from being a tense, awkward test situation to being a nice drive with someone who's not my instructor.
Turn right.
Turning right here, thanks. Let's go, mirrors, signal. Ooh, hatch area with a broken line around it. I'm gonna sit in the hatched area with a broken line around it and wait for my turn to go. Now, did I make a mistake? Hatched area, is that allowed? What's the hatched area for? It's to separate two streams of traffic to make the road safer. If the line around the hatched area is broken, you can use it.
200 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Thanks. You can use it if you need to. So in that case, I needed to use it to get out of the way of the traffic behind me so that I could keep the road flowing. If the line around a hatched area is solid, don't use it.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
No probs. I'm going to slow down for this roundabout nice and early in advance, looking to my right, and there's nothing there. I'm going to keep going. Not going to stop at roundabouts unless there's something to stop for, because I'm a confident driver. And if you don't believe that you're a confident driver, have a look in the mirror.
After 100 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
No problem. Have a look in the mirror and say to yourself 5 times, I'm a confident
Go
driver.
left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
Speak it into existence. If you tell yourself you're amazing at something,
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
you're going to be better at it. You're going to be more confident and you're going to be an amazing driver.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
Shh, Tom. It's my video. If you believe it, you will achieve it. And this isn't like The Secret. If you're into that book, great, good for you. But this is confidence building. This is a practical skill that you haven't to perform. If you don't believe in yourself...
100 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
God, Tom-Toms are annoying. If you don't believe in yourself, you won't pass your driving test because you're going to be super nervous. You're going to doubt yourself loads. If you're confident in your abilities and you don't doubt any decisions, even if they're not quite correct, you probably have more chance of passing.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Cool. 20 miles an hour, that's all right. I've tipped over 21 there. Fail. You normally get 10%.
After 100 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit. Then take the third left.
Okay, you normally get 10% margin for error. So if you've gone up to 22, bring it straight back down, but you'll be okay. If you get a really nice examiner, they might
Right
allow...
on the roundabout and take the third exit. Then take the third left.
They might allow 23, 24. Notice what I did there. I went all the way around the roundabout. I didn't cut it. I didn't shortcut the roundabout at all, because it's a roundabout, not an overbout.
After 300 yards, turn left.
God, this is fun. Driving test should be fun. If you're not having fun, you're not confident enough. You need to go back and practice some more. Mirror to move round. Okay, ready. I'm looking at the sat-nav screen as well. The TomTom's going to give me super misleading, confusing instructions. Mirror, signal, position, speed. But if I'm looking at the screen don't lie. It's a song, isn't it? Is that a Shakira song? Oh no, that's Hips Don't Lie. Okay, the screen don't lie either. So look at the screen and decide what you're going to do based on what's on the screen. Oh, another really narrow road for meeting situations here. Goodmayes is so muggy. Goodmayes is so difficult. Meeting situations are one of the hardest things to perfect as a learner, for sure. Like, you want to be passive, but you also want to be confident. You want to get it right, but also you don't want to stop all it. Oh, it's difficult. If I had to give Goodmayes a score out of 5 for ease of passing a driving test, I'd have to give it a 2. And it gets a 2 because this route's really easy. This route is easy, but there's so many driving skills that you have to be amazingly good at to pass here. Meeting situations being a massive one. If you can't do meeting situations, you're gonna straight fail. Okay. Feels actually calm as well because the sat-nav's not barking instructions at me. Most people, when they drive around with the voice instructions turned off on their sat-nav, because it's just so annoying and naggy and really misleading and confusing. She'll say turn left in 300 yards, but there's 3 more junctions before your left turn. So it's just not helpful. Go by the screen more than anything else. On your driving test, they leave the voice instructions turned on. So we have to kind of get used to it. Plus, it's really good because it keeps you focused. As soon as she starts talking, you realize, oh yeah, damn, I'm following the sat-nav and I need to look at it.
After 200 yards, turn left.
Cool. What's going on here? Let's stop a little bit early just in case they're going to do something else weird. No, it looks like he's driving on, then we're going to turn left at the end of the road. Mirror, signal, position, speed. Say it out loud to yourself because it keeps you focused. It might sound like basic stuff. Might sound like super basic stuff. Yeah, I learned that on my second lesson, Francis. I'm way past that now. Mirror, signal, position, speed. But this is what we give you these routines for. So that when you're on your driving test, you can drive and not miss anything out. Mirror, signal, position, speed. Okay, you're not going to forget anything. You've done it. And if you learn mirror, signal, maneuver on your lessons, that's fine. Go with that too. I just prefer mirror, signal, position, speed because it's more thorough. There's less to miss out then. Like positioning, speed. I'm not going to forget to change gear if I've said speed. Mirror, signal, maneuver. There's a lot ambiguous about that. I'm not a fan of ambiguity. All right, we're nearly at the end, actually. That's not too bad. See, it wasn't too bad. It's just not a very nice area to take a driving test in. If you live in Goodmayes, nothing against Goodmayes.
After
kind
300 yards, turn right, then you have reached your destination.
It's kind of bright and buzzy. There's loads of nice cars around here. There's some really nice houses. Wow. And there's a lot going on in and around Goodmayes. Are we in Dagenham? Is this the borough of Dagenham? No idea. But for a driving test specifically, this is a horrible area to drive in when you're not super confident.
Then you have reached your destination.
Mirror, signal. Oh, I've got a right turn box there as well. Let's use that for sure. Oh, that went a bit Australian there, didn't it? Okay. 20 miles an hour. I nearly missed that sign on the way into this road. And that's where you're going to be.
You have reached your destination.
Thanks. Shh. That's where you're going to be going wrong. When you're missing the sign, because I'm so concentrating on moving into the junction. Oh, hello, a road. Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna be missing signs because now I'm on the road. I'm looking for the sign, but there wasn't a sign. There isn't a sign on the road. There was a sign at the beginning of the road. It said 20 miles an hour. So now I know the speed limit, only because I look back though. Finally, we're at the end of the sat-nav route. She'll say you've reached your destination, which doesn't mean we're finished. It means that your 20 minutes of following a sat-nav is over. Now, you get verbal instructions from the examiner. And that means I'm going to direct myself, basically. I am my examiner, and you guys are my adjudicators. Have I made any mistakes yet? Any mistakes that you want to pop in the comments? I'm open to it. All over it, in fact. I'm all over it. Obviously, on your driving test, your examiner is going to pull you over about 4 or 5 times and then get you to drive on again. It feels like it's for no reason, or it might feel like you're making mistakes and they're doing it over and over again. It might even be on the same stretch of road 2 or 3 times. It might feel like, oh, they're getting me to do this again because I made a mistake. That's not why, it's just the process. The driving test process. They'll pull you over loads. It's just to check how you park, and more importantly, to check how you pull away again. Are you getting that blind spot check in? Make sure you're checking blind spots every time you pull away. Also, your examiner is going to give you a maneuver, parallel parking, bay parking, reverse or forwards, pulling up on the right and reversing. You might also have to do an emergency stop. Obviously, this is not a test of whether Francis can do parking maneuvers. If you want to see whether Francis can do parking maneuvers, this is the video for you. This is just a walkthrough, talk-through guide of Goodmayes. So to that end, we're going to get on and finish the route. We are coming back to the driving test centre, and you might feel now, oh yeah, I've practiced here loads. I know the driving test centre is just over there. I've nearly finished. Oh, but now you're not concentrating. You need to keep focused right until the end. Your examiner is marking you until they say turn the engine off. The only time that they might not be marking you is if they ask you to pull forwards into a bay and say, just pull forwards, you've already done a manoeuvre, I won't be marking this, or words to that effect. If they ask you to pull forwards into a bay at the end of your test and they say just pull in, they mean just pull in. You don't even have to finish inside the lines because you've already done a manoeuvre. I'm turning right here. Am I too far from the lights? Well, I don't know, maybe. I should have definitely signalled earlier though. You're going to give me a minor for that? Come on, adjudicators. Who's on my side, who's not on my side? Goodmayes, nice area. I think people are quite friendly around here too. It's all right, I don't mind Goodmayes. I could come here. Oh, I tell you what's nice in Goodmayes. Oh, we're not going yet. The gym in Goodmayes is really nice. Driving test centre, not so much. If you've got a choice of different driving test centres, like I know you don't nowadays because the problem is that every test centre is mega full. But if you've got a choice of driving test centres, you'd rather go like down the road to Wood Green or something. Never choose Goodmayes. This is probably, just thinking about all the other centres I've been to, Morden. Morden's tricky, but yeah, there's lots of tricky stuff in Morden, but it's just, it feels different over here. It feels like there's so much pressure on the road. It feels like everyone's in such a hurry and it's so busy. I'm not a fan at all of Goodmayes Driving Test Centre. Right, turn left, Francis, no problem. Mirror signal. Position speed. Kildowen Road. This is where the magic happens. You're going to turn left into the Driving Test Centre. I'm going to go and find a place to park up and we can end this route. All right. That was fun. Goodmayes, not a fan. What do you guys think though? Would you take your driving test at Goodmayes? Comment below. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and what I will do is catch you guys in the next video. Drive safe.